G'day, good morning. Thanks for listening. Hope you're well where you sit and listen. This is a medical cannabis show, and I like to respect the law, and I hope you respect the law as well. And today is going to be talking about plants' immune response and some nanoplastics and substrates, the Plastisphere, and a little bit of nanotechnology relating to plants. Some pretty cool stuff. Actually, the nano bubbles is especially good because that's how plants get oxygen through their roots. So it's pretty cool. Yes. And sorry for I'm a little bit late. I've got 2 exams today. Farm machinery and cell culture technologies. So I've been studying for them. Righto. All my voice is good. I just started pretty quickly here. I can hear it. No, it's not. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, yeah, good. There it is. It's moving. All right, sweet. We'll get it back to the other screen. See if anyone's rocked up. Aaron, hello. Nice to see you, Aaron. Hope you're going well, mate. Aaron had some, I think it was Aaron or someone or other anyway, they were talking about some cancer related to the medical cannabis, and it comes up a little bit later. There's some studies in it. I'm going to go through a couple of new studies as well, and I'll just put them up today. I'm not really going to elaborate on them because I haven't got much time. I don't really want to run over an hour because my exams are in they're in a few hours anyway, but I've still got to get ready for it, so I don't want to fail. Righto, now I'm going to start. I think that's been long enough. I don't have my tablet running today because it's charging, because it's got to be like a camera for my exams. So bear with me, question-wise. I'll just periodically stop it. All right, I'm going to get into it. It's going to be good. I'll show you the slides first so I can get a reference. Here we go, sharing. Boom, look at them all. Scroll down. Yep. There's a few studies too, which I really should be putting into next week, but I didn't because it kind of relates to this week. If anything, I should have switched this show for... Anyway, let's just start. So a bit of new stuff. It's been a green light in Australia for something I can't remember. Victoria. Is it up here? There it is. Victorian Parliament, okay, medical cannabis driving trial. So there you go. Folks in Victoria who are under the medical cannabis program, if you get pulled over by cops, you'd want to have your little your card on you or your prescription receipts. Keep all that handy, and then it's it should just be formality. That's what they're going on to say. So that's pretty good. Another thing which is in the news is bad. Got yin and yang it. Glyphosate cancer findings in extreme concern as Europe weighs reauthorization of the pesticide. Australia still allows glyphosate. I think it's banned in the USA. Anyway, that's disgusting. That's really horrible. I promote organic practices, let alone something that stays in the substrate. It's got a half-life of many, many years. It goes down and gets into the water table, blah, blah. Not good. What's this thing on? Denver in Colorado hits 500 million in cannabis tax revenue. Just in that one city, 500 million. So $500 million. That's full on since 2010, it says. So it's not each year, but still. Yes, and it's fully legal there, Australian government. New study on to generate magnetism of the living. Oh, this is a bit of nanotechnology. That's for later. little stuff coming up. So I get into this bit. Oh, what? Green bicycles? Hey, green bicycles. Cheers, my friend. Oh, no, it was the next on the left. All flustered here. Oh, this is pretty cool. This is a legalized cannabis party in Australia. They're another, like the Greens and other types of Republicans that promote the good word. So this is one of their stands. So it looks pretty related. Here's a pain study for Australians who are interested in getting involved in studies. Starting to happen here. So look into this. I've talked about it for the last few weeks. There's some numbers there you can get onto. Pause it if you want. Psilocybin works. I also support psilocybin as well as medical cannabis because this stuff actually works really well. And it's legal in Australia under prescriptions. It's not cheap though, but it's still available and it actually works. If you've got it, it'll reset your brain really, really well. This is a pretty cool study of cannabinoids function in defense against chewing herbivores. So it's how the chewing herbivores act upon the plant and how the plant reacts in different pathways. I'll go through that a little bit later. And look at this. Is this sick? I thought I'd put that in and just ask that question. Is this sick? This is like a bit of a pathogen show, so I thought, yes, that's a good question. Is this sick? Is the question. Well, it's been long enough. The answer is no. It's in senescence and it's beautiful. It's lovely. Nice uniform monocrop. You might be able to zoom down here. There you go. See, the leaves are very uniform in the way that they're exchanging their pigments. They're not blotchy or anything like that. Not curved, twisted. So no, that's good. What's wrong with this? I thought, pull this up. I thought, what's wrong here? What could be possibly wrong here? All looks good safety-wise. This is all good. Yep, there's people there. What is it? Well, the answer is I was so disgusted in it. That's why I had to put it in here. It's because these people have put so much effort into their cleanliness. What's made this person instantly sterile? Just because this person I'd gather would be an owner or someone high up. Why are they immune to coming in here? And look, same probably shoes. That's the pants that were worn outside. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I'd be so upset if I saw that inside my facility, especially this fella. Look, he's got a little dust catcher exposed as well. That should be kept under. But yeah, that's my little two bob there. This is a study that's going to be talked about a little bit later, how the plant's response into the chewing herbivores, to what different things happen. So it's a little bit of a graphic. This is another one. So it's the insects, the stuff inside insects in their guts. Does it actually have benefits on plants? And if so, what are they? That's really what the question and answer is on this. That's pretty cool because, the stuff for thrips comes from that works on thrips. It comes out of the insect's stomach. It's a grub. It comes out of the insect's stomach of that. And here's just part of that study, another cool graphic of it, of the synergistic effects it can have. And it can have antagonistic, which means it hurts it, or the volatile organic compounds can maybe even attract it. So these are different things on the gut's bacteria on what it can actually do in the plants world. It's cool. It's very, very relevant. So there's the gut in the middle and different types of things it can do. I'll go through this actually a little bit later. It's pretty good though. So it's in the study. Most common tactics that can be used to fight against plant viruses. Sanitizing tools between use and crops, because HLDV is so prominent, is so rampant, it's just terrible. So you don't know what cultivar's got it. So when you're cutting, have a few, say, sets of scissors in a sterilizing solution, and then just put it back in each time when you change plants. Keeping your grow area clean, quarantining new plants coming in. That's very, very important these days because of that as well. And regular testing throughout the plant's life cycle. Yeah, read the leaves. It's a healthy looking one. But still, that's why it's HLDV. The L is latent. It's a hot latent virus disease. So it can be there and look healthy too. I like the old stuff because it was around for millennia, 6,000 years actually. And where's that? I think I've got that in today's. I've got a really cool graphic of that, of just how medical cannabis has worked. It's only the last 100 years that they've outlawed it. This just goes on back in the day. It used to treat more than 100 separate illnesses and diseases in the US. These bottles here of the cannabis extract. Oh, and THC has 20 times the anti-inflammatory power of aspirin and twice that of hydrocortisone, they've found recently. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so cool. Oh, and aspergillus is a bad pathogen that you don't want, and they test for this in the States under their pesticide program. They test for aspergillus and penicillin as the only two types of fungi out of the thousands that they actually test for in the medical cannabis. And if aspergillus is one of the dangerous, yeah, it's a common mold that can affect the growth. Yes, what's the color again? Oh, gee, I think it's yellow. Oh no, we're not going to quote me on that. This is a really good study. That was, what was the study called? It was one molecule, one plant, one medicine for many diseases. Caution, handle at own risk. It may heal you, cause energy and sleep improvements and eating exposure. I like this because they're all stacked, and I thought, wow, that looks pretty cool. They're all just sort of, it's like a little city, and it's cubensis. This is in Chilliwack in BC. So this is an example of the legal mushrooms that you can get in Australia under prescription because they work really well. Cubensis too. I should see, actually, I'll stop it, do a periodic hello. Oh, hello to Green Bicycles. G'day to Sunshine. Nice to see you, mate. Today is going to be a really cool one. Already getting into it. Where's the background? That should be all right. Up. Yeah, there you go. I'll get back into it. I was in the pictures. The events are stacking. Yeah. Eradicate. This is a program that NASA's been just involved in with the pathogens, and they've surveyed it by air and just done some interesting field experiments, I suppose. I'm not sure if that's in a study later on, but that's the snippet. Hey, happy mum. Here's my mountain man friend. Thank you for the supporters. $5 is support, and I really thank you. $80 gets you my private playlists, and there's a few extras in there now. 150 gets 20-minute video call and a novelty gift, like a chart or something I made. $300 gets weekly video call, and that's more so for a company starting up or for a patient who's going through a long-term medical problems and wants my educated opinion because I'm not a doctor. Entrepreneurships in cannabis. How can you kill cannabis folk make money with the stuff that really works? It's getting legalized everywhere now. This is some really nice art. It's just, oh no, look how snazzy it looks. Very cool. I liked it, even though it is male plant and a very not real thick female plant, but still looks pretty good. Here's some artists in a nice little forest setting, sort of peacefulness. Looks good. This is some brewers. Now CBD is now nearly legally wide, so it's not hard to blend. Some other examples of it. Like I thought, remember it was, there was some getting sold in a shop in Brisbane. in a liquor shop in Brisbane. This is ornamentals. I like this because it's becoming legal everywhere and people want nice looking plants, and you can make it look really nice. There's a bathroom example. So that could be for interior designers. They're looking for your services of your nice philo-taxi. You don't want the hauled ones. Well, you could, because see, those mutants can come in handy. Like those. This is a nice one of the aphid. And there's a few of aphid, because look at that. That's like a cartoony type one I imagine people can cool draw these days. And that's a real one. And that's aphids used as biological control against thrips. So you see the little white little thrip things, you get some of them, and oh wow, happy days. This is for some wood carvers. If you're pretty good with wood, you can make things like this. Nice massive chair. And Halloween is in a few days. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. See in the background? Oh. Wow, look at that. What's a can of art? You got a massive big smile. Yeah, you're very happy. And this is a joke. I don't get it, but so something about, yep, CBD, UK CBD industry. Okay, it looks a little bit, but it says limits. There's THC limits, right? I don't really get that. Maybe you do, but you can be laughing now, I hope. So I really wasn't. The magnetic bacteria. So there's a new study on genetic magnetism on living bacteria, and has a great potential. So I thought that was relevant today because of its nanoparticles. Because what does it say here? Magnetic bacteria possess extraordinary capabilities due to their magnetic nanoparticles. These magnetosomes, which are inside their cells. 30 genes are responsible for their 9,000 odd genes the bacteria have. So yeah, that's the electron microscope. My microscope goes to 100 nanometers. The light microscopes. So if you want to get more detail, actually, mine, well, I should be able to see that then. Anyway, that's what it says. Here's some other nanotechnology. Has gained a bad rep due to how pharmaceutical companies have used metals in the creation of vaccines. Like, remember COVID was done that way? They magnetically attracted it to something. So some people were showing how magnets stuck to their forearms, their biceps where it got injected. And this goes on to say, keep in mind that it has nothing to do with how nano-sized cannabinoids or nano-sized terpenes can seriously help us. Very relevant. This was under here now. No. Here's that new study on the bacteria. I'm not going to read it. This is where it comes from. Wow, very good. What's this one? Oh, this is a nano breath device, breathing thing. Self-engineered high-performance electric nano generator for self-powered health monitoring and electronics. So they're getting better with their biosensors. They made a really cool one that you can monitor your breath with. So I'm sure once the powers will be get onto that, they'll be right. Let's change a few things. Look out. Too much of a good thing. Oh, here's some nanotechnology in mice that has. This was really good though. Right, where's the heading? Yeah, what's it actually summarize? Come on. Researchers found that immune cells in livers in young mice removed nanoparticles from the bloodstream more effectively than old ones, which resulted in less of the drug getting to the tumor. So it's a positive thing for cancer. Nanotechnology in cancer, there it is, the Cancer Center. showed that young livers. I've already read it. There's the source if you want to source it. On into the Plastisphere. Now we can get back into this thing again. I'm just showing these. I should see if there's any questions. There we go. That was the breath monitor. I'll stop there, eh? I'll show that one. G'day, Aaron. Nice to see you, mate. Getting green box. I've got exams in a few hours, so I'm not going to elaborate on a lot of studies that I'm going to show here, unfortunately. Some good ones, especially the cancer one. Look at this nanobubbles. This is brilliant, really, really brilliant, because it takes 10,000 times, is it 10? Yeah, it's 10,000 times slower for roots to get oxygen out of the water than it is to get out of the air. So that's why it's plants that are surrounded in water all the time, they'll wilt and carry on, and you won't get much growth, because that's the reason. But with nanobubbles, you can get biofilm reduction, reduced water tension, better water infiltration, improved soil fluctuation, more efficient water uptake and nutrient uptake, because they can bind to the outside with the bubbles, because they have a slight cation exchange where it can be a negative charge. It's a slight negative charge. I'm not going to go into that detail why it is. And so it can have a bonding effect with the positive cations. So that's how the nutrient works. So I should remember that. I think 2 weeks' time we're talking about nutrients. So I'm going to put this one back into that. Oh, what's this one on plasticity? No. This is just how climate change influences everything around us. So it just is going on to say how plastics affect everything through time, and they're just getting into everything, and it's slowly changing things, not for the better. But nature has a good chance in bouncing back. Hey, plant's immune response. This is a study there done by Zhang. So it just shows its immune response from different things that's happening in the environment, abiotic and biotic. And then later on I talk anyway, back to this. Got a quick, my exam soon. Plants have evolved an innate immune system that recognizes the presence of potential pathogens and innate effectiveness defense responses. So there's a few in its roots area, its signaling area through its MAMPs and its PAMPs. So it's microbe-associated molecular patterns. And same thing with PAMPs, pathogen, put pathogen as microbe. Stomatal immunity. So the recognition of the MAMPs can trigger stomatal closure. Because remember, in the medical cannabis plant, there's a FL22 receptor is responsible for the flagella in bacteria, that little tail that comes out, that's what triggers that. So it'll trigger the pathway to do this clock control. So the plant's immune also controls its clock through a circadian rhythm, and it shows its translocational control as well through its, that's what it was talking about with the signaling, and apoplastic immunity. The synthesis of lytic enzymes, antimicrobial pathogen related, the PR genes, and metabolites to hinder the proliferation of pathogens. Give it the apoplastic immunity. Good fun. And this is a mechanical stress. This is the abiotic stresses on plants. So these are some different ways that have been effective. And this is a micro shaker, which is pretty cool. This should be applied a lot more often, and I'll give away some hints to make these so that you can put them on the plant stems, and then they'll vibrate, and then you'll shake all the insects because they don't land, and they definitely don't lay eggs. So you can do this especially around late flower time. That is one thing that hasn't been invented that can be a great benefit to the industry. The yellow sticky traps, well, they're a good early detection and monitoring, so they're not, it's still It's a good way to pick them up. A control way is through dispensers, by hanging those little things that can dispense pheromones and different scents to control. And what's this, delta traps? Oh, that's to actually trap them inside of it. You might have something inside that kills it. So I'll drop in a little light or something, even UV. Stress abiotic. Well, here's some more abiotic and mechanical stresses. And I like this little snippet because not many of them show the gravity alteration through when it hits rocks, or it has to go around big things, turn left and right. That is little stress that has been implemented on the root system. Compacted soil, yes. Root growth, obstacles, yeah. So it hits something that has to go around. You know, it's very resilient. It can go around, but it doesn't like it. Gravity, yeah. Windstorms, rainfall, and herbivores, chewing, or mechanical types of. Well, that's actually mechanical. That's a biotic stress. Abiotic, without the living. Stress activation time for a pathogen. So if you've, this comes up, I'll talk about it now, I'm not real. After 1 minute on the plant, it actually has a response. It'll activate the calcium fluxes in the channels and go down from there and starts, you can see only up to an hour, and it's already activated quite a few pathways. Immune. I'm sure I could take time with this. Anyway, I'm sure I'll talk about it later. This is a plastisphere. This is a little bit of a summary of what it is, I suppose. The rhizosphere is where plastics can be. See, here's the plastisphere in the middle of the soil, or the big bit of plastic, and then what happens on the surrounding environments. So it's just detrimental everywhere. Earthworms in the drillosphere, all the various particles, plant, soil, tissue, that sort of stuff in the detritosphere, the soil aggregates, the aggregatosphere. Yeah, that goes on a bit about later. What is this up here for? I'm lost. Oh yeah, I can stop it actually, see if there's been any. What's Aaron say? Oh, okay. Aaron reckons there's a great medical cannabis documentary called Cannabis Stigmatized. Check it out. I haven't seen it, but good on you, Aaron. Nice to see you, Dave. Green G. How are you, mate? All right, get back to ripping into it. Back to it, sharing, good. What's up here? That was the breath thing. That was the cancer one. Oh, yep, what they're doing for that. The soil platosphere. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is going to be rad next. I'll talk about platosphere. This is the most in-depth study for the entourage effect. You should see how many genes they've recognized in the human body for it now. It's so cool. Just, it so works. That should have been the start of the show, another actually highlight. Anyway, get on with it. Clarifying the definition of the platosphere. I think I've already done that just by that diagram. Excellent. Soil compartment. Yeah, by here. I'll zoom in a bit. Oh, you can't zoom. Oh. So soil platosphere, specific environments, microbial, and it just corrects down. That was that snippet before, showed what it was about. Well, it's a bit zoomed now. Approaches in studying it. No. What's the conclusion? We sort of know a bit about it now. Aquatic environments it gets in. This is how it cycles in these different environments in the soil and in terrestrial environment. It's terrible. It breaks down to little micro nanoplastics, and they're still there. And then you need those plastic bacteria. There's a few of them they've found now that break it down and they can transform it into non-plastic substance. But they're not everywhere, those types of bacteria. So we're going to be stuck with it for some time, which is a cool one to say. And that's the microbial communities differ from the different plastics because it takes different ones to break down. So wherever there's more plastic, it'll be proliferating those types of plastic bacteria. Yes. Functional properties. Don't pollute. It's the functional property. Conclusions. We've introduced the role of the Plastisphere in the soil environment. It shouldn't be there. But this is a good study on it just to show us how it acts, how it breaks down, and how it's going to stay there for a long time unless we change stuff. That'll do some. That's a good summary. As up the top floor, if you want to get the review, Nature Reviews Microbiology. So I study soil science, plant science, and microbiology. Here we go. Decoding the postulated entourage effect of medical cannabis. What is it and what it isn't? This is pretty recent. There's the review. Type that in, you'll get it into your search engine, and then you'll get it. So the entourage effect is the combination of the cannabinoids with the flavonoids and terpenes to give an outcome, because there's 500 different substances of those that they've recognized in medical cannabis. So once you combine a few differently, they give different effects, like the beta-caryophyllene. That's fascinatingly gives a different effect. It acts on the CB1, CB2 receptor, which is the same as THC. So all of these things, I'm just going to go a bit faster. No diagrams. Dirty drugs. Yes, that's the street drugs, or how, because cannabis is a bioaccumulator. So what it's fed is what it can retain. So it's not done properly medically, or organically, you're going to end up with those in your system. That's what I call that street marijuana. I'm only interested in medical cannabis. Massive difference. Massive difference. It only helps you. It doesn't give you all of these throat hits and head spins that you don't want. Conclusions of this. Oh, no. Where's no? The conclusion is showing all the receptors in my eyes. You can read it if you want the conclusions. Here we go. This is the blooming conclusions. This is awesome. This is so, so awesome. It just goes on. These are the different receptors on the left that it acts upon. This is its mechanism, if it helps it, or if it antagonists it, or if it hurts it. And these is its potential pharmacological effects, how it helps with sleep, anti-epileptic, anti-this and anti-that. That's what medical cannabis does. It helps on our endocannabinoid system so well with all these antis. So, all right, now that's what the columns represent. Here's the references once you pull up the study if you're interested. So we'll go down. So CBD. So it acts upon all of these as we go down here. And these are all of its anti-effects. There's nearly everything you could think of. Cancer cell migration inhibition. So if you want that, so it'll be acting upon the GPR55, which is a very common one they knew about ages ago. And that's its effect. So we're still on CBD. So these are all the different receptors it can act upon. And these are all its anti-positive effects for the human body. I'll just slowly scroll down. Okay, that CBD has done. So do you see, look at that. Mate, there's what, I'm not going to count them. 5 plus 15, so there's at least 20 there. Here's CBG, same again. There's a few here for CBG. It goes right down to there. Colon anti-cancerous. Colon cancer, you'd be wanting to source some CBG. There's an example. CBC, CBN. So you let your appetite increase. So if you have bulimia or those skinny people, you can let your cannabis age into CBN, and it should be an appetite stimulant, as per this is saying. Then the THCV, the phenolics, and the different forms that the THC can come in, acts upon different receptors again. As it goes down, CBD, THCA. See, the A is different from the THC and the THCV. Right down here. Isn't that awesome? 2023. So it is so symbiotic with our endocannabinoid system. It's not funny. If you can source good medicinal cannabis and not street marijuana. I love that. That's really cool. Next, cell death induction and intracellular vascular formation in human rectal cancer treated with THC. So this was a study done on rectal cancer with THC. So the results, in conclusion, 2 functional mechanisms, intracellular vascular formation and cell death. These findings can help to determine how cannabinoids can be used most effectively to improve the efficiency of cancer treatment. Terrific stuff. Cannabis sativa. One plant, one medicine for many diseases, therapeutic uses, a review of evidence. That's the heading of the study. It was published in September 2023. There's the heading if you want it. Just from showing a little bit earlier on, it works so well with everything in the human body. I'm going to scroll down and just, I think this briefly touches on it. There you go. That's where that little slide I put up earlier comes from. Chronic pain. It helps with, that's right, asthma. I'm not going to go through all of these things because these are the subheadings that I'm reading that it elaborates into. Rheumatoid arthritis, wound healing, so it's dermally works well. And they're saying how it acts, what you should use. Constipation works well. Multiple sclerosis, it works well. So for those poor people, they can get medical cannabis relief. Cancer, here we go. There you go, some good cancer stuff. Glaucoma, it fixes eye problems. Parkinson's disease, and that's why Michael J. Fox is a massive advocate for medical cannabis, because he finds massive relief. And the TV was saying the other day about that, because I watched a cool thing on it. Michael J. 25 years he's had that disease for, whilst having medical cannabis. It's helped it improve it with his body. As this goes on, this study and other things includes Alzheimer's disease, dementia, obesity, anorexia, Huntington's disease, epilepsy, which I've got, Dravet and Lennox gastric syndrome or childhood epilepsy, Tourette's syndrome, dystonia, sleep disorders. Oh my, does it help with sleep? Gee whiz. And the best thing is about sleep too, if you take the oil, which a lot of Australian prescribers like to give you, first up, that's perfect for sleep because it only lasts, well, it lasts for me about, I think, 9 to 10 hours. So I take it about an hour or two. It's like 10 hours before I want to wake up. And it just works really, really well if I'm ever having sleep problems. This study also goes to show how well it works with traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, drug addictions, AIDS, wasting disease, sclerosis, depression or anxiety, diabetes, migraines, COVID, they reckon it even works with. I think that's about it. Oh, that's a real hard one. leishmaniasis, monkeypox, neuropathic pain. As you know, not much stuff works with neuropathic pain because I've got that too. And yeah, this study shows it has positive effects on it. Lumpy skin, viral disease. And in conclusion is that it just works with a lot of things. Depends on the person too, on how well it's going to work. But based on the available evidence, the approved therapeutic use is mainly limited to treatment because of how well people can't access it, or the stuff they can access, like sativa indica. If I have sativa, I'm pinging off the wall. So it's to get the right cultivar is something that's the chemovar is going to agree so much better with the individual person. More research is needed. Yes. Australia's studying with those two. I showed a few weeks ago the study on it. That was, I should see if there's any questions actually. I did a big talk on that a few weeks ago on how it works with the human body quite well. I actually asked YouTube to monitorize it, and they're not going to. They're not interested because it's got the word cannabis in it, I think. It's annoys the shit out of me. Hello, Lene, nice to see ya. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's good. The God plant. That's a great cultivar, God. G'day, g'day, g'day. Yes. Oh, yep, cool. Lene loves CBG. See, so it acts upon her pathways that agrees with us. So she might have seen that those receptors that were read out before, that it just agrees really, really well. What's Aaron going to say? They are all awesome. All those knowledge, yes. Actually work with. So it's nice to see all these studies that have been done in medical cannabis. Hey, 420 Fred, how you going, mate? And says he uses it for chronic pain, sleep anxiety, and PTSD. Also doing my own research on skin cancer with a positive reduction of the cells ongoing for another few months. Yep, excellent. Very nice work, mate. It's amazing how it agrees so well with our body. I think it's quite disgusting how there's been so many blind eyes on it, and they're like the Australians, they need all these studies before they'll believe. Like, what are these receptors? Are they different worldwide? No, they're all the same. Fair income. Dead set Australia. All these receptors are so generic through our human body. Oh, we need our own study to see if it works. That was done in the wrong accent. Bloody, you know what I mean. It annoys me. What else have we got up here? I'll go through some slides actually to get up. Soil Plastisphere. Yeah, I think I've been through that. Oh, viruses. All right, this is the last of the slides in here. The emerging viruses of the 21st century. I thought it was pretty cool. The recent explosion of monkeypox. That just came up on that list before to say cannabis, medical cannabis works effectively with monkeypox, and a few of these others. I actually got it for this snippet. I liked it. All the different expressions of the viroid. You can see it's just very, I reckon it would look like that too. That might be the electron scanning microscope representation. There you can see it's COVID, coronavirus, and how it's COVID-19. Yeah, it's pretty good. Righto, next is on to this. So the cannabinoids function in defense against chewing herbivores. So how does it act upon it? So in the decades when the first cannabinoids were introduced by scientists, research has focused almost exclusively on the function and capacity of cannabinoids as medicines and intoxicants for humans and other invertebrates. Very little is known about the adaptive value of cannabinoid production through several hypotheses on ways on it acts. To test the predictions, they have done a test here. Let's see the test. Molecular mechanisms underlying potential pathogen resistance in medical cannabis. There's the thing you would look up if you want to look it up. So, activating, so the underlying potential pathogen resistance. I did a video on this quite a while ago. If you're really interested, you can prime your genes and you can get resistance into your cultivars. If you've got some keepers that you really like, I'd suggest watching that and breeding that into your genetic lines that you want. It really helps, because now with HL, the hot latent virus disease, it acts differently. I've found cultivars with this prime gene, the WRKY gene, WRKY gene primed, that has a stronger resistance against hot latent virus disease, as an example. So what's this study go on to say? Among the 130 secondary metabolites identified in cannabis, THC, along with CBD constituent, is the most relevant compound produced. Oh, okay, good. Got to get past all that, all the history for the people. Yes, that's all the overview. Cannabis-resistant genes. The plant has two responses. It can be induced or systemic. Hopefully this is in a diagram, fusarium. There's a better diagram for this. Let's see if there's any here. Botrytis, Pythium. Conclusions. I can't remember the conclusion, sorry. Figure 1 shows a potential model of immunes and defense. Let's see figure 1. Oh, this one. This shows the immune system and its defense system. So it's two ways it can act upon. So we'll go here. It affects it and produces some proteins, which throw out a defense response, or over here, it cascades down and produces a defense response, which can either act upon differently again. And there's 5 different pathways. It can enhance cell walls, activation of salicylic acid response, reducing pathogenicity. That'd be good. You'd want to prime them. Activate either jasmonic or ethylene response. And secondary metabolites, it can produce other different phytoalexins and terpenes to ward off different things. Okay, very good. This table summarizes the main studies examined in the review. Just how it's got those 4, the Pythium, Botrytis, Fusarium, that are very prevalent in those who haven't primed their genes. You can easily see it through the leaves too, or maybe not Botrytis as much. That's grey mold. You just see that when the humidity is too high. And it's a humidity activated thing. What's the next one? The course of mechanical stresses, types, perceptions, and plant responses. So the mechanical response from the plant, yes, it's called thigmomorphogenic response. This was that little snippet shown before. And that's why I liked this especially, because it had the obstacles that were in the ground that not many people put in their things. So I thought this goes into a little bit more detail, so I liked it. So different types of mechanical stresses. So it's thigmo. I'm not going to read them. There they are. They're pretty cool. Botany terms for the wind and the rain, the herbivores and the gravity, the bending, touching. summary of the experimental designs with different models of mechanical stress applications to variant plant species. Observations. Is this really relevant? Initial primary response. Oh yeah, it's not really cannabis related though. That's not really good, is it? No, I think this is a general plant related thing. That's how I learned initially, because cannabis is a plant. But it's good to be specific when it talks about genes. I like talking about really specific, just so it's understood well. Otherwise, I don't want to talk about it, because it could be incorrect, because there's different pathways that it acts upon. What's all this one? Gravitropism. Yeah, they did they took a plant into space, and they found out, does gravity work upon plants? And the answer is yes, because it just grew all everywhere. So let's say the gravitropism. What's this saying? I have to read it all. Mechanical stress-related molecular responses in Arabidopsis. So that's all mechanical. Okay, so that's when it touches elongation of the root zone, because it might be trying to get around things. Reactive oxygen species under stress, so it produces more problematic things you don't want. Spikes calcium channels, because that's really the touch gene. It works with that. Concave slide, don't know. Slope, I don't know. Gravitropism, said that one. The cell size of the wood, the cell size of the plant, it can be thicker or thinner. Rings can grow faster, its growth rate can be slower or faster through stresses. And this goes on to explain a little bit more in detail, which I'm not. It's really hard to cover a lot of studies in summarising to keep the viewer interested, because you can go back on your own if you really want to go into detail. I'll just go through the detailed things that I think are relevant and related to medical cannabis. Just goes on to say plant mechanical stresses respond differently to different areas, activate different pathways, and it can be detrimental with the reactive oxygen species. The study of that is this one. There you go. Next, the pivotal role of gut microbiota in insect-plant interactions for sustainable pest management. This is pretty cool. I touched upon it a little bit earlier, just how the inside of the guts. There's a snippet down here. Is that one? No. This one. Inside of the guts of the different insects have different things that can put out different chemical signals to plants, helping them or hindering them and attracting. That's what is with what's the one start with S for thrips? S. I even made a video on it. That one, yeah, thank you. Gut bacteria. So I can summarize this too. This is how some interactions help. So gut bacteria participate in plant-insect interactions by influencing insect biology. So the gut bacteria, this is the types of the organism. Yep, gut bacteria, good on it. And this is what it can actually do. Production of cellulose, attracting larvae, attracting female flies to lay eggs on the host by volatile organic compounds. Biological nitrogen fixation, so I can actually help it grow. supplementation of B vitamins. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hypnoptera, that's really cool. Degradation of terpenes, so it degrades them. So if you get these ones, you don't want it because it's degrading it. Enterobacter, any familiar ones? Bacillus plumilis is familiar, degrading of some tannins. Wow. Assisting plant toxins to kill insects. So that's where it will actually help. So these ones will, you might have the thrip one. No, I don't recognize it. Lepidoptera. I think it does. That's a butterfly. I think it does. Oh, anyway, get on with it. Non-functions of insect gut bacteria that directly influence insect behavior and physiology. So they act upon a few different pathways on the insects, and a lot of them will have to be retained or touched for the insect to actually take effectiveness, because a lot of them they don't retain in the environment because they're organic, so they're safe in the environment. Not like glyphosates, which keeps going and going and going for many years. Gut bacteria participate in plant-insect interactions. Remember this to be pretty cool. It shows the different signaling through the different hormones that they release. Some cytophores. That's pretty cool. Next. And that's how they can interact symbiotically, or they can hurt different insects, or they can aid different insects. They can attract different insects. They can repel. We've sort of covered everything here. The vast potential of gut microbiota for pest control. Yes, biocontrol, biopest control. This is where you should really just be getting it. If you're going to, because everyone needs pest management, but you don't want to harm extra things. So by going the organic route and the biopest control, it's safe and it's sustainable. It's the only thing I support. So it helps gut bacteria associated VOCs, synergistic lethal effects, paratrachogenesis, control gut microbiome, sterile insect technology, pathogenic bacteria. Very good. I'm not going to elaborate there. Direct and indirect insecticidal effects and potential of insect gut bacteria. So this is how it acts upon insects. So it has to actually, direct insect, sterile insect technique, synergy with entom pathogens. How cool is that? So a lot of it just does hurt the bad things that it's directed at. So if you can get the right thing for the right application, it's very easy. That's why biological control, everything's got an application. It's easy. That's what I really, really support going that route first. All right, that's that one. Is it the last one? Yep. I wonder if there's any others. I think that's it then. Young livers, stress. Yep. It's right for them. I reckon, I hope this was at the start for those latecomers. So I put this up to say, is this sick? And I thought it'd be a good question for today's show, just to ask, is this sick? Look at it. I'll zoom in a bit. Is that sick? The answer is no. It's senescing. It's in its late flower phase. And if you look in here in the leaves, there's no blotchy effect. There's no twisted leaves. They're uniform in their way that they're aging. There might be big cups, so there might be a bit of heat. That's about the only thing. But no, they're, for health-wise, I'd say good health. And there's another one to do with this too. So what's wrong here? What don't I like about this? I'll give you 10 seconds. Well, cables are good. Here's good. Their biological control safety is good. Look at this owner, as I would guess it is. So those pants have been sitting in the car, probably walk around the field, and look, oh my, I'd be so disgusted if a place where I worked at, if I saw that, I wouldn't work there anymore, because it's only a matter of time. and him too, he just wanted to smile, I suppose, like this. But yeah, has to be really, pests and pathogens are something that's, until you get them and deal with them a lot, it's struggle town. Oh, okay. I'm just scrolling up in the chat. There's a few things. Sorry, that's good. Aaron's, can't wait to see and get my skin doctor in another few months. Oh yeah. We're now, some of these studies, Aaron, go back on these studies and get yourself knowledged up. And then you can quote, even write them in for the doctors to say, listen, this is what happens in this. I would like this because of this. Yeah, because the doctors in Australia, they've done a 4-hour course, mate. They haven't even got the time to read a study. All they know is cannabis is green and it helps. And I'm not being rude. That's their knowledge base. 4 hours, what does that expect? Hey, look out. There's someone from Alaska. Hello, walking lightly. Nice to see you, mate. Oh, Main Green. Nice to see you, mate, too. Hope all's going well. Yes. Oh, okay, that's all good. That's why I didn't want to talk about much. There was some full-on thing about the news about Maine in that area, so it's good. They've settled it. Very good. Oh, really? That's pretty amazing. The thing that is underneath that, I'm not going to read it. Wow. Yep, local power, isn't it? Hey, sunshine. So I'm scrolling down. Hello, Buttercup. How are you? No point having 2 or 3 in biocontrol suits. Yeah, that's right. It's ridiculous. Safety. It's not very good. Is there? How long has been going for? There, 62 minutes. It's an hour. Rad. All right. I got to study for my courses. I got 2 today. I've got my farm machinery and I've got cell culture technologies exams coming up very soon. So I'm off to study. If you've got anything to say it now or forever. Wait till next week, till 67 hours time. I'll be back doing the same thing again. And next week, I'll give you a bit of a look at. Here we go. What's he doing next week? What's he on about next week? Hope you liked all today's studies. But that one on the entourage effect with all the cells, with all of that human body effects is magic. Yeah, decoding the entourage effect. This one with all of the receptors. You can't lie with these tests and receptors, and you can click on here and it takes you down and it shows you how they've done it, so you can follow up with it if you really want to look into it more. So this is a really, really good study. Fantastic. And there's not just the CB1, CB2, and what was the old school one? TPRV. It's really good. I'm sharing it. Oh, next week's I was going to show you. This one, week 70. It's called Seed Biopriming, Seed Quality, Seed Size, Seed Dormancy, Indoor Seed versus Outdoor Seed. What is the difference? And these are some things I'm collecting. So there's a cool study I've got on seed biopriming, and I might go into my nanotechnology in agriculture class where we bioprime some seeds, and it's fascinating outcomes to do with NPK, which leads on to the following week, which is the next week after that is nutrients, plant nutrients of the 17 essential and the 2 beneficials. There it is. This. No. That's what I was talking about earlier. This is rad. That shows the world. So 4000 BC, this is a cannabis history. So it just shows how it's used, how it's documented throughout the world, how it comes on with its date line, right up to when they made it illegal. So it was used for, what's that, nearly 5,900 years, and they made it illegal years ago, and now it's slowly coming back to be legal again because of how well it's worked over the past. This is a really rad looking poster. Did I show everything else? Yeah, next week's. Cool. I like that poster. I'll put that into the Weed Nerds if you want it. Study on. Walking lightly, yes. I try, mate. I'll be doing next semester too. It looks really cool. I just enjoy the plant soil science microbiology stuff. It's fantastic. The university I study at, they have 600 courses every semester. So I just choose out of them what I want. And quite a lot are related to this stuff that interests me. Plant and soil science and microbiology. Very good. Righto. Nothing else I can show you. I appreciate everybody being here. It's nice to see a few folk I haven't seen in a while. And I hope you're here next week and we talk more seed stuff. And you can bring some tech questions if you got it. And I'll maybe talk also about the Mighty Medic, which is an amazing volcano. Oh my. It changed. If you're on rations and you like the Mighty, look into the volcano Mighty Medic 2. Very, very good. It's good for Australians who are on rations because it's top dollar here to get any good stuff. And being on a 4 plant count, good luck if you have problems. And that's only for ACT people. The rest of Australia still struggle on. So it's a good tool to get you through the tough times. Sunshine. Yes, it's nice to see sunshine. Another good show. All right, thanks for your nice words and support. Yes, I try hard. Next week will be good too, some seed stuff. Maybe I can talk about the seed technologies course that I talk about. That was some interesting things at the start of that. That might be all right. Just to get it up more because there's not many slides there. Anyway, I'm off to study. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day or night. I appreciate you listening. Thank you again. And I'll see you next week. Thank you too for your nice words and support. Happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you all. Bye-bye.